Good morning, Marianas. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Welcome to our studios here on the 7th floor of the DNA building. Good morning, Marianas. Today we have breaking news for you in the trial of Nicholas Moore that involves his former co-defendant, Eric Sloan. We'll bring you this extraordinary news. Plus, Sally Aquino and Johnny Rosario will join me in the second half of this show to talk about a relief drive for the Philippines. Please stick with us, and we'll bring you this breaking news on the other side of this break.
Right now, we are seeing a rise in energy prices. We feel it at the pump, at the store, or each time we get our CUC bill. This is causing everyone to make difficult choices. Businesses are having to increase prices or reduce hours. Families are having to choose between keeping the aircon on or putting food on the table. Lieutenant Governor Arnold and Mayor Dave's commitment to our Commonwealth is demonstrated through their 30-plus years of public service. Their experiences have allowed them the opportunity to personally interact with our community during their most difficult moments, and for that, they have a better understanding of the needs of our people. The CNMI needs leaders that will promote policies that create jobs, grow paychecks, and improve the economic security of the CNMI businesses and families. We hear you, Marianas. It's time to get this government back in order. This election, please vote Arnold and Dave.
Half a day, my name is Jeanette Guzman Chrysostom and I'm voting for Joe S. San Agustin.
Afidi, I'm Ryan Bawalta and I'm voting for Joe S. San Agustin.
Mabuhay! Ako po si Micaela Silorio at boboto ko si Joe S. San Agustin.
Hafaday, my name is Diane Kenko Garrido and I'm voting for Joe.
Hafaday, my name is Joe Cabana. I humbly ask my friends and families to please join me in voting Joe Shimizu San Agustin.
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Agustin and I approve this message.
Nicholas Moore's lawyer, David Lujan, isn't just trying to cast reasonable doubt on the accusations the Attorney General made against Moore. Taking it a step further, he's not just trying to prove Moore is innocent. David Lujan appears to be using the trial against his client to show to the jury and to the public that Mr. Moore's former co-defendant, Eric Sloan, and not Moore, is the actual shooter and that the Attorney General is letting Sloan walk free. And today, Kandit has breaking news about an extraordinary admission from the prosecutor in the case that appears to shift the blame from Moore to Sloan.
In a trial against Mr. Moore that started in July, the Talafofo resident is facing felony aggravated assault and terrorizing charges on allegations he shot Brian Mendiola in the leg the night of October 15, 2020. Here are the facts of the case that have been brought to light so far. Eric Sloan, a Navy sailor stationed on Guam since 2016, said he met Moore and others and they established a friendship based on illegal drug abuse. On the evening of October 15, 2020, he was the passenger in a black Ford F-150 truck Moore was driving when they approached an Agana Heights driveway where 4 people were standing. 2 of those people were Curtis Garrido and the victim in this case, Brian Mendiola. While Eric Sloan has alleged both he and Nick Moore shot out the truck with separate guns and that it was Moore's gunshot that hit Mendiola, Curtis Garrido told police he heard only one gunshot and that it was Salone, not Moore, who shot the gun. Mr. Salone said that he shot at the ground. The evidence shows that a .38 caliber bullet fragment pierced Mr. Mendiola's leg.
Mr. Lujan, Moore's lawyer, has spent 5 full days in court obliterating Mr. Salone's witness testimony under cross-examination. And in an extraordinary motion filed in court this week by Prosecutor Grant Olan, asking Judge Alberto Tolentino to end Mr. Lujan's cross-examination, the prosecution has yielded to certain facts Mr. Lujan was able to establish through cross-exam. The following are direct quotes from the prosecutor in his motion. Through its cross-examination of Mr. Salone, defense counsel have established that 1. The bullet from the gun that Mr. Salone claims to have fired at the ground could have ricocheted off the ground and struck Mr. Mendiola. 2. Mr. Salone's DNA was on the .38 caliber revolver. 3. Mr. Salone is aware that the bullet retrieved from Mr. Mendiola was a .38 caliber bullet. 4. Other witnesses yet to testify have claimed that only one gun fired and Mr. Salone was the shooter. Defense counsel also have established that Mr. Salone has lied about a number of key facts. Mr. Salone admitted, for instance, lying to Agent Craig Perry about the defendant handing him the .45 caliber gun, which he now maintains that he picked up from a case on the floor of the defendant's truck. Moreover, video from his interview with Agent Perry established that Mr. Salone initially said that he fired the .45 caliber gun before Nick fired the .38 caliber gun, before correcting himself and maintaining that the defendant fired first. Defense counsel have further impeached Mr. Salone's credibility and motives by extensively questioning him about 1. His history of drug use, 2. Marijuana that he has sold, and 3. Benefits that he may receive by virtue of his cooperation in this case, including a plea deal that precludes additional jail time and possible favorable discharge from the Navy, end quote.
The Attorney General, days before the trial started, entered into a deferred plea deal with Mr. Salone that essentially exchanged Mr. Salone's testimony against Mr. Moore for Salone's freedom. Despite the government's knowledge throughout the investigation of witness claims that Salone was the actual shooter and not Moore. In unrelated stories Kandit has published regarding Attorney General Levin Camacho, inside sources close with the prosecution division have accused Mr. Camacho, among other misdeeds, of unethically leaning on prosecutors to charge people in high-profile cases where probable cause did not exist to charge defendants. Kandit has reached out to Attorney General's spokeswoman Carlina Charfras, asking whether Levin Camacho had personally involved himself in the decision to charge Mr. Moore in this case and in the Michael Castro murder case, which is related to this one. We also asked Ms. Charfras whether the Attorney General had personally involved himself in the decision to let Mr. Salone walk free. Kandit awaits response from the Attorney General's office.
Meanwhile, Mr. Olan, the prosecutor's admissions to the court that may possibly tank his case against Moore truly is a rare instance, court observers say. A nearly unprecedented move that showcases the young prosecutor's commitment to ethical conduct in the criminal justice system. It should be noted that Grant Olan was not the original prosecutor in this case and was only handed the case right before the July trial began. Defense counsel have yet to respond to Mr. Olan's motion to end the cross-examination of Salone, and Judge Tolentino has not called the parties and the jury back to court for the trial to continue. Among the more interesting components of this case has been an admission in open court, but outside the presence of the jury, that Mr. Salone's DNA was also found on the gun that allegedly was used to murder Michael Castro. Mr. Moore also faces trial in that case. Mr. Salone was never charged with any crime involving Michael Castro's disappearance. That trial will not be set until the current trial is done. It's an extraordinary case, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, so this case is not over. The trial continues. Nothing has been proven either way until a jury decides. And we have to remember that though Mr. Salone was originally indicted in this with Nicholas Moore, he was given a plea deal. And so there's no trial against Eric Salone, at least as of yet. And the plea deal that the Attorney General's office has with Mr. Salone, as far as we know, continues into existence.
So if Moore gets off, Salone's already free, right? Like, who are they going to charge for this?
Unless, I suppose, the plea deal with Eric Salone can end if prosecutors have evidence that he lied to investigators in this, or that he changed his story or anything like that. And so this is a very interesting case, and I think what's going to get more interesting is how this case and how the testimony in this case may affect the Michael Castro murder case, which is the bigger trial that will be coming up. And there's like we said in the story, there's already been an admission in open court of DNA being on a gun that's allegedly involved in this current case that allegedly was used to kill Michael Castro. I mean,
how could they have DNA, some Salone's DNA on the gun, and like just totally disregard?
Well, because
that?
there's other people's DNA on the same gun, and so that is far from being adjudicated. That is, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? The community will cross that bridge when we get there, and the criminal justice system has its way. But in this case, this admission from the prosecutor in the in this current in this current Nicholas Moore trial, where the victim is Brian Mendiola, who did not die. Thankfully, he was injured in the leg with a fragment of a bullet, which is an important point. Not a full bullet casing, but
Ricochet,
a fragment, right? Which shows, forensic evidence could show that came from a ricochet and not a direct hit. And so the only person in this entire trial who has admitted to shooting a gun and admitted to shooting the gun downward onto the ground is Eric Salone.
Oh my gosh, I just remember that.
Yeah, and so this is, it really is, this. I don't know if anyone else has this motion that the prosecution has filed. It's very recent, but I would imagine that there would be, there should be reports about this. But you heard it first on Kandit. Now, when we come back from this commercial break, Johnny Rosario will join me in studio, and joining us will be our sister in arms here at Kandit, Sally Aquino, to talk to us about the situation in the Philippines and how we all can help our kababayans there when we come back from this break. Stick with us.
Bottom line is we're gonna make you a better person. You're gonna be healthier and fitter than you were before.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Welcome back. It's 7:15 a.m. Did I say that right?
Yes,
Are you proud of me?
perfect.
Holiday. I'll just stick to my holiday.
Hagumas.
It's 7:15 Esta. It's 7:15 a.m. on this Tuesday, the 27th of September. Welcome back to the second half of our show. And joining me is the lovely Johnny Rosario.
Holiday.
Yes.
And our beautiful sister, Sally Aquino from Kababayan Kasali Kayo. We cast her show every Saturday morning. And you can also contact her at sally@kanditnews.com. Before we get started with our discussion, we have a shout out to make.
To our family that's having a baby.
They're having a baby. Jessie Mendiola and Leanne Mendiola,
Yes.
in their young age, are having a baby. They just found out last night that they're pregnant. And we're so very happy for them. Congratulations to the lovely couple.
Congratulations.
So, Troy goes to church every Sunday, so he can be the Nino if you like.
Of course.
Of course. I would be honored.
Honor.
Yeah,
Yes.
My goodness, we're volunteering me. They
Yes, I am.
What if it's Matthew instead? Anyway, so on a more serious note, we have yesterday, more than 24 hours ago, a super typhoon was on its way to the Philippines. It got to the Philippines. It became a typhoon. And why don't you tell us a little bit more from some reports? I think at BBC.
Out of BBC News, 5 rescue workers in the Philippines have been killed in a typhoon that has left homes flooded and millions without electricity. They were washed away in flash floods while carrying out operations in the district of San Miguel, north of the capital in Manila.
And that's in the Bulacan area.
Yeah. So, I was doing some reading, and apparently it's the farmers and the rural areas, the most porous part of the Philippines that have been affected by this typhoon.
Not the cities.
No.
Okay.
The cities, the Philippines, just like Guam, they're very resilient. The people come together and they help. And then, of course, I believe help comes from all the families abroad. So the reason why we're having this second half of this show is so we can get together and find a way to get donations to those areas that were affected.
Sally, how are we going to do this?
I suppose monetary donations would be the best because it's very expensive to get goods out there. Canned goods, clothing, and that kind of stuff.
Is this something that are we gonna call like the Filipino community Guam President's Day and work through them, or American Red Cross? Like how we did this 3 years ago, I think. There was a typhoon that hit there, same sort of circumstances, and I believe we didn't go through Red Cross. I think we partnered with SPPC 76 to get the donation boxes there.
Okay.
And the partnership was with the Filipino community of Guam, and they handled the logistics. I believe they were not. It was more difficult to do like a drive where you have where you donate blankets and canned goods and things like that. And if I'm not, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Was it just money?
It was just money.
It was just money.
Yes.
And I think it was very successful. Oh, and also Paradise Fitness Center was our partner in that as well. And I remembered those bins being quite full of money, coins and various types of dollar bills and stuff. So, is this so? Are we going to coordinate this?
Yeah, I can help you coordinate, and maybe we can talk to others like McDonald's. Right? They're very generous when it comes to things, something like this.
We should talk to KFC. I love KFC.
And KFC too, yeah. We can put some cans there and they can, put the money in there.
I think that's our best bet. So our job here at Canada is just to get the word out, to get people to donate, and then you could do the
I can do the
money. Yeah,
I can do the
money.
legwork.
Yeah, we could help with the cans, getting the cans set up. But and then you decide who at the government or who over there they're going to receive it and distribute.
Okay,
that's how that works.
I saw the president in an emergency response briefing, but they were all speaking in Tagalog yesterday. Were you able to catch that?
No, I did not. I saw that this morning, but I didn't open it.
Are you caught up with the news on the ground over there? What is happening?
Well, what's happening is I think the media in the Philippines overplayed the damages. To the cities. including, well, the most hit was southern Tagalog area and Metro Manila, and of course the central part, all the way up to Baguio.
Okay.
But the cities are okay. It's the outskirt, the farmlands. That's where the most damages are. We have photos of broken homes.
Yes.
And,
I sent some photos, guys. Can you put it up?
Yeah. And so the flooding that occurred, Troy, the flooding that occurred in Metro Manila started before the super typhoon hit. So there was already a lot of rain. So the flooding.
So what do they call it? Torrential floods or
Yes.
torrential downpour?
Yes.
If this happened in the farmlands, does this mean fewer people were affected?
The winds probably affected
Okay.
mostly the poor area and the agricultural sector.
So we're talking about displaced poor people. So these are
Yes.
not your concrete homes.
No.
So they're more thatched roof and wooden tin homes that have been
Right.
blown away by the typhoon.
And and their livelihood,
Yes.
If they were raising pigs or if they have chicken farm, then those are damages or damage.
Okay.
So it's still brought havoc, to the poorest area in the central Philippines.
According to BBC News, it's
Yeah.
a quote from the Philippine president. I think we may have gotten lucky at least this time, said Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos during a briefing on Monday. I think it's clear from what we did these last 2 days is that very, very important is preparation, he added.
Exactly.
It's not over yet. I think the point when we can stand down is when the majority of the evacuees are already back in their homes.
We saw that trending on Twitter, people in the Nueva Ecija province, and I didn't see Bulacan, but there were a couple of provinces, I guess, where there were situations where people needed emergency help, emergency evacuation.
That's in the Bulacan area. That's how the 5 risk management personnel died.
Okay.
I think they drowned.
Yeah.
And 6 more are missing, and they cannot account yet if those are members of the risk management office in Bulacan. Yeah, it's badly hit. And so from Bulacan, it went to Nueva Ecija, but you got the wind there more than the flooding. Okay, so homes were damages, farm were damaged. So that's where it is. In Pangasinan, I was talking to my nephew, who is the right-hand man of the governor and the congressman there. He said the city is fine, and Pangasinan is big, okay? And so is Pampanga. So if we were going to do this drive, I would say the monetary thing would do, and we can probably coordinate it with the congressman, governor. They're related in Pangasinan, and then what do you call this? Coordinate with the Nueva Ecija governor.
I know we
Yeah.
have the Association of Pangasinenses, right?
Right.
And we also have the Bulacan Association of Guam, if I'm not mistaken.
I can check on that.
Yeah,
I can check on that.
And can I just remind everybody that in the Philippines, $5 here, $5 of our money goes a long way. So even the littlest donation,
Very good point.
So please, guys, if $2 helps, $5 helps, $10, whatever.
Right.
Our money goes a long way over there.
Oh, especially with the exchange rate.
Right.
Now,
Yeah,
59 pesos to
59 to the dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's a very good reminder that, the littlest amount, or we think it's a little amount, that amount can actually go a long way to helping the poorest people in the Philippines.
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything else before we get started with our...
Other than that, Metro Manila was not that bad. We only got the flooding because all the drainage are plugged.
Yeah.
But other than that, I spoke to friends and they said they're fine.
Yeah. Temmie's family members said they're all fine. They live in the mountainside area.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sally. We appreciate it.
and if you want to partner with us with this drive, please call me at 797-7082, and then I'll forward you to Sally.
And you may call me too at 797-4456. Yeah.
We're all
Okay.
IT&E users.
Yes,
Hello.
we are.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Sally,
Okay.
for coming in early in the morning so we could talk about this important drive. We'll get more information out to all of you guys. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
And I'm Sally Aquino for Kababayan Kasali Kayo.
Good morning,
Good
Marianas.
morning.